everyone, this is Siren and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to ramble about astrology. Yeah, right off the bat I just want to tell you that this video is going to be, well, rambly, okay? Because I just really want to talk astrology, birth charts, planets, horoscopes, astrological events, my thoughts about this entire topic, because I've been wanting to talk about it for like a really long time, and today is the day. So yeah, make yourself comfortable, bring yourself something delicious to drink or eat, or I don't know, just do whatever you want and just like put me on the background if you want. And I hope you have fun with this, and yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get into the video. Yay! So I actually got two books here with me that I'm going to be mentioning a little bit, but I'm not really going to be reviewing them as such. I want to do that in another video. But astrology. Now, it's my usual question. Where do I even start? No, you know what? I think I'm going to give you a little context, okay? Me and astrology, like, where are we at? Would be probably the question. Okay, so to give you a little bit of a background, a little bit of a context, I basically actively started learning astrology only this year. It doesn't mean I didn't know anything before that. I did know certain things about astrology, but like in a very superficial way, if you know what I mean. Like, I was familiar with the zodiac, obviously. I was familiar with the existence of birth charts. I knew that every planet was in a certain sign and house the moment you were born. Okay, so yeah, basically birth chart. What else? I know about the big three, the sun, the moon, and the rising sign, right? All of that, but in a very superficial way, like not really. I didn't really know, like, I didn't have like the fundamentals, you know, the real basics of it, of the understanding of all of these things. And this year I basically decided that it's time for me to dig deeper into that, because I'm gonna tell you something. I would be so freaking frustrated when I would see people on like social media and on you know, on YouTube and everywhere, just like you know, just like dropping the astrology references, like I don't know, the Jupiter squares Uranus, etc., and this is why this and this is happening, and all the jazz. And it was like how do you know what that means? Now, of course, I don't know what that means now. It was literally just something that came to my mind. I don't know if something like that was happening lately or something similar. It's kind of stuck in my mind. But I'm learning the fundamentals, okay? I'm learning the fundamentals. I'm trying to build on that, and hopefully, eventually, be able to actually understand astrology, even though I know that astrology is one of the things that you just like never stop learning, because there is always another book, and there is always another perspective, and there is always another birth chart, and another like way of interpretation. So I don't expect myself to just know everything, because I don't think anyone ever knows everything. So I think I would start this video with that opinion now. I don't know, like, come at me if you want, but yeah, I think that there is always something new to learn in many things, if not everything. So there is that. Now, this would be kind of like the context of astrology. So I would be actually pretty intimidated by astrology as such, because of that, because of like transits of the planets and people just dropping these references and me not knowing what that means. And just like, I always had this distrust, you know, with people, because let me just tell you this. When I see someone saying that like either some astrological event or like some transit is happening, and that means blah blah blah, I always look at it like, why? Like, tell me why. Like, explain why to me. Don't just tell me that this is happening. Like, I don't want to say I don't care, but that was something that would bother me always. And it's not like these people, like astrologers, etc., how do I put it? It's not like I have anything against them. It was more like it was my kind of it was triggering me, okay, because of my ignorance about the topic. It was like really triggering, like so triggering. And I know that it's been about me, not so much about them. And yeah, this is basically why I wanted to study that. But this is also why I've been so intimidated by the whole astrology topic, and I even resisted not learning that, but I even resisted like getting into astrology until I came to a point when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna buy myself some books and I'm gonna start studying this thing because I'm done being triggered by it. I'm done being intimidated by it. So I got myself 2 books. One was a recommendation from a very lovely, dear, witchy friend, which I love you so much, you know who you are. And the book is called The Inner Sky by Stephen Forrest. It's this book. And I'm gonna get to it in a moment. And the other book I got is You Were Born for This, and the author is Chani Nicholas. I believe her name is pronounced this way. This wasn't recommended to me. I just saw it in rainbow font. Okay, yeah, this is why I got this book. Colors. I love colors. Okay, I love colors. I told you many times when I was speaking about decks, but yeah. But I want to go back to The Inner Sky by Stephen Forrest. Now, I am planning on doing a review solely on this book because this book, you guys, is extremely amazing and valuable, and it's such a treasure, and I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am for this friend that recommended this one to me, and that I actually read this book as my first astrology book because, yeah, by the way, I read it cover to cover already. Sorry, my cat doing weird stuff again. I read it cover to cover and I loved every single page of it. I fell in love with this person, the writer, not in like a physical way, but I fell in love with his way of writing. I fell in love with his way of viewing astrology and of talking about astrology and his way of explaining it to you, because he basically helped me get rid of that feeling of like intimidation and hesitation when it comes to astrology, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, again, if you're interested in like a full review of the book where I would talk more about like the actual chapters of the book and a little more details about the book itself, let me know. I'm still gonna do the video, so because it's amazing and I want people to know that. But yeah, basically what I loved about this is that this is a beginner book, okay? Which means that Stephen Forrest basically walks you through what astrology is, how to approach it, his approach or approach of like modern astrology, or he calls it, how does it call it? Basically, he walks you through what astrology is. He tells you about his approach to astrology, what's the aim of astrology, and then he goes into explaining the signs, the planets, the houses, and eventually he teaches you how to read the birth chart. Okay, this was like in a super nutshell to tell you about what the book is about. And I know that there are probably like tons of books like this, like how to read a birth chart, how to read the big 3, because for instance, this book, I just started this one, I haven't read this one fully yet, but apparently, again, I haven't read it yet, just a few pages, but apparently this one is going to be about more of like a big 3, so the sun, moon and the rising, ascendant, sorry. And probably not like the chart as a whole. I don't know, by the way, just saying again. I need to read this one still. But this one really gives you like the overall, you know, view of like how to read a chart, a birth chart. And I just want to say, I'm really happy I started with this one, because even though I have seen like plenty of recommendations on the internet on beginner astrology books. Some of them like with super beautiful illustrations and so easy peasy, just like learn the signs and the planets and the houses in a very, easy and simple way. I can say like, look, this book doesn't have illustrations, okay? It has sample chart and the glyphs of signs and the planets, okay? Because that's important. But it doesn't have any illustrations. It's not like a children book, okay? Not like there's anything wrong with that, but this book isn't going at it in like the most simple way, I would say. It goes in a really realistic way at it, and I think that's important, and I'm very happy. Again, I'm just gonna repeat myself here, but I'm just so mind blown by this book, I swear. Just bear with me. So it's really realistic approach to astrology and reading birth charts, and I'm saying that because I really appreciate that. Why? Because I don't think astrology is simple, and I don't think that a simple approach to astrology is going to get you anywhere. I mean, sure that it can be a point to start. Again, disclaimer that I like to do. This is completely and absolutely just my personal opinion, point of view, okay? I'm not trying to tell anyone like what to do. But I think, like in my case anyway, I don't think that the simple approach to astrology is going to get you anywhere, because the astrology is complex, okay? That's the thing I think of it. It's incredibly complex. And Stephen Forrest gives this really like important emphasis on the fact that, that you shouldn't be approaching astrology and especially birth charts as something that is like divided into, pieces. Like when you are just like superficially using astrology, as I was before, and you just go, okay, I'm gonna check my birth chart online, and I check like, what is my Mars in? Like, what sign is my Mars in, or my Venus? And then I just like go with that piece of information, and like that's it. Or I try to pinpoint, some little part of someone else's chart, because like, oh, they have Mars in Libra, so they are like that and like that. I would do that before, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because human beings are freaking complex, and it doesn't work that way. You can't just take one little piece, like a little piece of puzzle, and be like, hey, this is you, because that's not you. Like, you are the entirety of it, okay? You are incredibly complex. And I love that Stephen Forrest in this book really emphasizes that, that you really need to approach the birth chart as a whole, basically. You need to, like, you can't just, you can't isolate the planets, okay? And I think this is so amazing that he speaks about it, because he even mentioned somewhere in the book that many astrology books give you like the descriptions of each planet in each sign or something like that, like examples. And people tend to learn that, like almost like memorize it. And again, it's not really gonna get you anywhere, because the chart is like a blueprint of your, not the soul, your personality, I think. And our personalities are complex, okay? They're not simple. So yeah, basically, going back to the topic that I wanted to say initially, is that this is why I'm like so grateful that this is the book I started with, because I immediately agreed with the author. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, because you will see when you are starting something, side note, when you're starting off with something, you're starting studying something, learning something, okay, practicing something, I think it's incredibly important, the mentor that you get for the thing, the very first mentor, because that very first mentor is probably going to determine whether you continue with that thing or not. Now, you can disagree with me here, of course, but look, even as a dance teacher, I'm a dance teacher, by the way, I know that, I need to give my students not only like the knowledge of dance, but also I have to make them fall in love with dancing, so they continue dancing, because if I fail on that, then I failed as a dance teacher, you know, because I promise I'm going to go back to the astrology topic, but I'm just using this as an analogy. Basically, I think like my job is to make the person not only learn how to dance, but also develop some sort of like love for dancing, so they can continue on even though I'm not maybe longer with them in that, you know. So going back to the astrology and using this analogy, if I got some random astrology book by someone who is, for instance, really heavy on predictive side of astrology, because that's the thing, of course, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, my favorite phrase lately. If I got a book from someone who writes about that, I probably wouldn't read it entirely, because something about me, I don't like predictions. Not in tarot, not in astrology, not anywhere, okay? I don't work with predictions anywhere. So, that's why I'm glad that I got Stephen Forrest's book, The Inner Sky, because I think he has a book on predictive astrology. Not sure, but this one isn't one. This one is literally, I was just checking whether it has some sort of like a subtitle, but it doesn't. But this one is literally about like understanding yourself and understanding the chart and using astrology to help yourself to become the person that is going to like live a happy life or whatever. You see, so he's also very, very, very heavy on the idea that the point of astrology isn't really to tell you, well, look, this is your birth chart, this is who you are, and this is who you are gonna be always and forever, because the stars decided, well, the planets. But you know, the stars sounds better. You know, he basically says that the birth chart is like a blueprint for your happiest life, and it's there to help you navigate life and your personality, and to help you understand yourself better, and therefore to help you understand how to you know, do certain things in life to your satisfaction, basically. I hope you understand me. But yeah, that would be the bottom line that he speaks about, and I completely agree, because this is what I thought that astrology was supposed to do. But now getting to the horoscopes part. Horoscopes, jeez. Okay, so as I already said, I am a person who really doesn't like predictions, so you already probably know where I'm going with this. Horoscopes. A headache. They give me a headache. Now, actually, a little confession. When I was like a teenager, but like a very young teenager, I used to, like, there was a time, I feel like I have like hair in my head, in my mouth. There used to be a time where I was kind of interested in horoscopes, and I used to read like the very short horoscopes, like every day. It was like a couple of days. But then I stopped, because I realized like, hey, I can't be like, I can't live my life like that. You know, like waiting for someone else, like an astrologer, to tell me what is going to happen to me today. Like, I decide what happens to me, well, to a certain point, okay? Because another rabbit hole, side note, I have this personal belief that we co-create our reality, so I don't really believe in fate, as in our fate is written in stone and that's it. Not necessarily. I think there are certain things that maybe are kind of like more prone to happen, but I still believe we are kind of handling our life and like choosing, you know, our paths based on our daily decisions. But then again, there are also other people in the world deciding for themselves, and sometimes their decisions affect our life. And also there's like nature, universe stuff. It's like, it's complex, okay? It's complex. But this is just a side note, just so you know my personal belief here, so I can continue with the horoscopes stuff. So basically, this is why I said like, no, I can't live like this. I can't be reading horoscopes, because it's just, it doesn't sit well with me. And I stopped. And then now when I'm like older and like actually like getting into astrology, I was like, I really don't like this whole, you know, the predictive things. Like I still don't like it. I still don't like it. And now when I see like anything that even resembles horoscope remotely, I don't read it. I literally don't read it because I don't want to fill my head with these things. It's also, for me, it is a waste of time because it doesn't help me. Same with tarot. If someone gives me a predictive tarot reading, it doesn't help me. And I approach astrology, spirituality as such, tarot, in like a helpful way, if you know what I mean. Like I try to use these tools, the spiritual tools. I mean, I don't want to say astrology is a spiritual tool, but for the lack of better words, okay, English isn't my native language, I'm sorry. The bottom line being, I want to, you know, help myself and the others in case I'm like reading tarot for someone or trying to give them astrological advice. I would never come to someone and say like, hey, you know what, like the popular example, Mercury is in retrograde, so you know what, this and this and this is gonna happen, watch out. I don't like that. Like, I must say, as a witch, I do obviously joke about Mercury retrograde, because who doesn't, okay. And also, of course, I had stuff, like weird stuff happening during Mercury retrograde, but I don't think it's something that necessarily has to happen, if you know what I mean. Like, I see that as like slight complication, but you can still navigate it, you know, you can still make your decisions around it, you can still live your life and continue taking your path, etc. So it's not like, oh, Mercury is retrograde, so ooh, now everything is just gonna go wrong, because it doesn't, it really doesn't. Also, I have had like good stuff happening during Mercury retrogrades as well. So you see, I just don't like this, like the predictive nature of things. And also, now I'm not sure, I think there is this type of astrology, Vedic astrology, I believe it is, that is like very extremely predictive. I'm not going to talk about this one because I lack information, okay? I lack knowledge on that one, so I'm just going to leave it there. Like that, I know that exists, but I don't touch that one. I'm basically learning astrology for like self-development, okay, and like a personality stuff. So yeah, so horoscopes, not working for me, and it's not something that I'm even interested in, or I don't even want to look into it, so I'm sorry, not sorry. Now, another thing I'm gonna say, if you've been following me on the Instagram, I used to say, I said a couple of times that I really don't like eclipses, because I usually don't have a good time during eclipses. And that goes, that links to something I want to talk about now, which is like the energy, or how do I actually perceive, you know, the astrological events, so to speak, or how do I see that? So I do believe, again, as a witchcraft practitioner, as a spiritual person, I do firmly believe that planets and like astrological events that happen in our beautiful cosmos have certain energetical effect on us. Now, I don't think that's purely psychological, but that's completely personal belief, and I think no one can actually tell you this is like something I am probably going to always stand by, and it's that no one can like completely 100% confirm to you something, as in, how did I want to end this phrase? I wanted to say that at this moment, astrology is something that works. I firmly believe it works, because me and also plenty of people in the world feel its effect, but we don't know exactly how it works at this moment, okay? Maybe in the future Actually, I do believe that in the future we are going to know. Well, probably not we, but someone is gonna know. But it still works. But what I want to say by that is that I don't like when people say things like they are like set in stone, you know, like astrology. Let's say like astrology is like that as a fact. Like I don't like facts around spiritual topics. I'm really allergic to that. So this is what I'm basically all that to say, that I personally think that the planetary effects are kind of energetical, not only psychological, but it's just my personal belief. Okay, again, this video is just my ramble about astrology, so I can I can say that. But that kind of brings me to another thing. By the way, apologies if this video is all over the place. Maybe I'll get better at that at some point. But yeah, that brings me to another point, which is the very popular phrase that you probably already heard, whether you are an astrology fan or not, and that is, I don't believe in astrology. Now, I'm sorry, I have to laugh because people are so funny with their I don't believe in astrology kind of narrative, because you see, I don't want to tell you like you have to believe in it, but even like the concept of believing in it, like I don't believe in astrology. Like, what does that mean even? I feel the effect, okay? I feel the effects of the planets. I felt them my entire life. Just now I have kind of like a vocabulary to use around it. Now I have certain tools to understand it better, to say, okay, so that's been happening, and okay. You see? But I just find it so weird when people say that. Like you don't have to believe in astrology. Like the planets, okay, look, the planets are up there, okay? They are there. It's a fact, right? They have effects on us. They do, because if they wouldn't, well, then we wouldn't feel it, and people feel that, you know? So I think, it's funny to say I think that's a fact too, but you know where I'm going with this. I know that maybe I'm just like becoming a little bit like entangled with words here, because I just said that I don't like when people speak about like facts with these things, but you know where I'm going with this, right? I mean, what does it even mean to believe in astrology? I have a partner who really isn't spiritual at all, and is also not really keen on astrology. Okay, I just say that. We had several arguments about that, by the way. Because yeah, sometimes I get kind of heated about some topics, but anyway, that's another thing. But the thing is, I always tried to tell them that, like, look, it's not about whether you believe or not in astrology. It's that astrology helps people, a lot of people, and therefore, like, it's just something that exists, you know, and we should like just like, accept it, maybe learn about it. If you are not interested, of course, then don't learn about it. But why use that phrase? Like, I don't believe in astrology. I just find it so weird. And also, I have written something. Hold on. The other day when I just have to find on my phone. But the other day when I was thinking about the whole astrology topic, I wrote a little thing that I'm gonna read it to you. Okay. So I wrote. We as humans feel so separate from everything. We forget that the universe doesn't exist outside of us. Instead, we exist within it. We are a part of it. Therefore, the idea that planets in our solar system affect our souls, minds, personalities shouldn't seem so strange. So why do we find it so hard? We think we live in a material, logical, cold world, but we do not. Okay, so that last one was like kinda just me being a little bit angry there. But See, I wrote that, and I really stand by that, because how egocentric that whole idea of just being separate from the universe sounds. Like, I was just thinking about it, and I really do feel like, I just want to say how egocentric that sounds, you know? Like, we literally think, like, we humans literally think we are so separate from everything, like from the nature, from the cosmos, that we came up with this "I don't believe in astrology" kind of narrative. In my opinion, okay, it's just my opinion. But yeah, just something to think about, food for thought. Anyway, I think I will probably have to wrap this video up, because my camera is just heating. She never does that, by the way. But okay, yeah, too much astrological ramble. I get it, baby. So yeah, basically I think that's a good thought to leave this video, to end this video with. Like, why do we feel so separate from the cosmos? That we even believe that planets just don't have any effect on us, when in reality we are all connected, in my opinion, okay, in my opinion. I do really believe that we are all connected with nature, with cosmos. We are just, we are kind of one, just different parts of it. And therefore, it's kind of obvious and logical that the planets do interact with us, you know, through the signs. And we do actually get affected by them. But again, my personal opinion, okay? So, yeah, I think that would be it for me for this video. Let me know again if you want me to talk more about, like, the book specifically, because I promise I could probably talk like hours and hours about this book, because it's amazing, and get it and read it. And about this book, well, I will have to finish reading this one, and then I'm gonna give you a little update on that one. Or maybe if you know about it, let me know if it's good or not. And yeah, now I think that would be it from me. If you got this far, thank you so much, I appreciate you. Consider subscribing, yeah, it would make me really happy. If you want to hang out with me a little longer, please feel free to watch other videos available on my channel. And stay kind, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye! Look at this crazy hair just like hanging out here. Because this is what happens when I just do this during videos. But you know what? Just a little thing. When I would shoot these videos, I would be like so freaking worried about, like, my hairstyle, like if my hair is, like, in a good position and shit, and I just got tired of that. So now this is why I do this several times during the video, so I can just get rid of that thought of my head, because now my hair is just like this. And there is that. So yeah, anyway, I hope you're having a lovely day.